I'm going to target a game that I think is going a little bit under the radar because the total's pretty low. It features two bad defenses and bad secondaries in specific. Both secondaries ranked bottom 5 in the league last year, and they didn't really get any better. And actually, two offenses that play faster than people think. Both ranked top 10 in situation neutral pace last year, and I think both expect to play faster this year. And it's the Vikings Giants game.
Over under 41.5. I like that. Sneaky.
Yeah, and I think the fact that the over-under is pretty low has the props in that game lower than they should be across the board. I really like Sam Darnold and Justin Jefferson to start. I think Darnold's a big upgrade over what they had last year with Mullins and Dobbs. So Darnold's number is 222 or 227.5, and Jefferson's was 83.5. I've seen some other books that have higher numbers than that. So I like those two picks. You can combine them together. And if you throw in a third, it pays 5-1, right around 5-1. I saw throwing somebody from the Giants would make sense.
Who we would play from the Giants would be?
Yeah, Malik Nabers looked so good in preseason. His number 63.5. That was okay, but Jones didn't look so good. If you wanted to go somewhere else, I thought total yards for Devin Singletary, 67.5. It's pretty interesting. I think he's just going to be out there all the time, catch some passes. They'll try to run the ball a little bit. And then Wan'Dale Robinson, I thought, had a pretty low number. Going to be playing in the slot. They don't really have like a tight end to focus on with Waller not there anymore. I think Wan'Dale's going to be that safety blanket for a while. His number was 28.5.
Wow.
So, yeah, I'm looking to parlay Darnold with Jefferson and one of those Giants numbers, maybe two of those Giants numbers if you want to increase the multiple. So higher on everyone in that game, basically.
Okay. Real quick, just so you're taking it kind of like a DFS angle. You're gonna put that game together where you've got the three guys kind of get some correlation.
Yeah,
it's got to be back and forth with thought that if you can hit one, you can hit three pretty quickly.
I just thought the numbers in this game might be a little too low based on the total being low.
Well, I've got a couple of hires that I'm going to go with also. My first is one of my favorite guys this weekend is Kenneth Walker of the Seattle Seahawks. Home game against Denver. They are favored in this game. One of the bigger favorites on the board. Always love a running back in that kind of situation. I just thought 67.5 rushing yards was way too low a number there. I like it higher there. This is a guy that had a 1164 total yards this year, 9 touchdowns. I know his yards per carry dropped, but great game script, home favorite. Denver was awful against the run last year. League high 5.2 yards per carry allowed to running back. So I think this is a perfect spot for Walker. I think that this number is way too low. I know Zach Charbonnet is in that backfield too, but I think the new coaching staff is really going to focus on Walker. They really like him from everything I've read in training camp. I just think 67.5 jumped out to me as way too low. I think he goes over 80 yards rushing this week pretty easily. As long as he stays healthy, they don't get too far up. But love a running back in the second half with a lead there. And a couple other selections. I really like Khalil Shakir, kind of overall in Buffalo this year, but I like him this week higher than 3.5 catches. I think with Stephon Diggs out of town, I think that Shakir is going to kind of be, kind of what you mentioned for Wan'Dale with the Giants. I think that Josh Allen's going to use Shakir and Dalton Kincaid, but I think Shakir is pretty talented too. He came on in the second half last year, took on a larger role. I think we're getting at least 5 catches from Shakir this week. They're home against Arizona. I do know they're favored. Maybe they don't throw the ball a ton in the second half, but I just think Josh Allen, early on in the season is going to go with the guys he knows. I know Keon Coleman's there and really talented, and played snaps with Allen in the preseason. But I love Shakir. I think Josh Allen loves Shakir most importantly, and I just think 3.5 is too low a number there. I'm going higher than 3.5 catches for Khalil Shakir. If you want a quick bonus, I do like 2 tight ends to go higher than their yards this week. One of them is Brock Bowers, 36.5 receiving yards. After Devontae Adams and a little bit of Jacoby Myers, I don't love what the Raiders have at catching passes. And I just think people are just sleeping a little bit on how much of a freak Brock Bowers is. Like, this is a guy that when he was in college, was just a stud player, a stud athlete. He doesn't really look like it. I know people make fun of the fact he looks 36 at all times, but with the hair, the way he looks. But I think just a freak of a player. Sounds like he's healthy, ready to go. He had a little bit of an issue in the preseason, but love Brock Bowers. And then if I wanted to correlate with Shakir, I like Trey McBride over his yards. 49.5 receiving yards, just too low to me. I know Marvin Harrison is in town, but McBride was a monster after Zach Ertz got hurt. He was like 684 yards last 11 games. Even better when Kyler Murray was there. He was like easily Kyler's top target. So love that one. So McBride and Bowers higher than their numbers as a tight end. Shakir and Kenneth Walker over their numbers too. I think will be some good picks this week. We got a second left here. You want to throw any bonus picks in there for listeners?
Yeah, Tyreek Hill and Jaylen Waddle, one of them for sure. I think Tyreek Hill's number was 96.5. This is just a great spot for them against Jacksonville, who may even be able to push them a little, but I think the Dolphins can hang 40 here easily. And then the numbers on the Jags side are really low too. After Ridley left, Kirk, Gabe Davis, and Evan Engram, two of them for sure. Just that game in general.
I like it a lot. If you're playing Underdog this year, our promo code is either RW Picks or RWNFL. Get you some nice bonuses with Underdog there. It's a really fun setup, fun format. We're talking right before we got. There are 9 million options to take Underdog. There's everything from yards to completions to how many attempts a quarterback will have. There's really everything you can select from. So it's really fun if you're watching a game and you want to sit down and take some selections from those games. It's a really fun way to do that. They have standalone games too. Obviously, you can play the Sunday night game, the Monday night game, whatever you want to do. A lot of stuff to pick from on Underdog. We'll be talking selections all year long, so we look forward to chatting that with you. Hope everybody has a really good week one.